The baseball gods clearly woke up bored, because just when spring training was beginning to settle into its familiar rhythm of optimism, routine, and cautious hope, a report dropped that felt like someone had thrown a lit match into a room full of dry newspaper. Out of nowhere, a name surfaced that instantly split the Toronto Blue Jays fan base down the middle, ignited social media into chaos, and forced everyone to ask the same uncomfortable question: has this all gone completely mad? Welcome back to the Blue Jays Report, because today's episode is a perfect storm of controversy, confession, and change, and it only gets more fascinating the deeper we dig. It all began with a single report that didn't accuse, didn't confirm, but merely suggested. And yet, that was enough. When news emerged that Nick Castellanos had been released by the Philadelphia Phillies, the baseball world collectively leaned forward. Moments later, a list of potential fits appeared, and nestled among teams like the Padres, Rangers, A's, and Reds sat a name that sent shockwaves through Jays Twitter: the Toronto Blue Jays. No confirmation of interest, no negotiations reported, just a possibility. And yet, that possibility was enough to set the fanbase ablaze. In theory, it sounds tempting in the most dangerous way. Castellanos is a multi-time All-Star, a former MVP vote-getter, a hitter who, at his peak, made pitchers feel as though the strike zone was shrinking with every swing. Power has always been his calling card, and in a lineup that has, at times, struggled to replace lost thump, the idea of plugging in a proven bat feels seductive. But baseball isn't played in theory, and the deeper you look, the more this idea starts to wobble like a chair missing a leg. The Blue Jays, as currently constructed, are not desperate for contact. In fact, they led all of baseball in contact rate last season, turning at-bats into battles and fouling off pitches with relentless persistence. Castellanos, by contrast, has lived comfortably below that mark for most of his career. Defense, another cornerstone of Toronto's recent identity, is not his strength. By most metrics, it's an outright weakness. Add in his age, entering his mid-30s, and suddenly this begins to feel less like a fit and more like a square peg being hammered into a round hole. And yet, the conversation refuses to die because context matters. Injuries have shifted the landscape. Anthony Santander being sidelined has created a temporary vacuum in the outfield, and baseball front offices don't like vacuums. They fill them. The current plan involves splitting time between younger, less established players, betting on upside, growth, and internal development. Some fans love that idea. Others fear it. For those in the latter camp, Castellanos represents certainty, even if it's flawed certainty. But certainty comes with baggage, and Castellanos arrives with plenty of it. Reports out of Philadelphia painted an uncomfortable picture toward the end of his tenure, with whispers of clubhouse friction and frustration over playing time. Fair or not, deserved or exaggerated, perception matters in a room filled with competitors. The Blue Jays have worked hard to cultivate a culture built on accountability and cohesion, and introducing a volatile element, even one with a powerful bat, is not a decision taken lightly. That's where this report begins to feel, frankly, delusional. Not impossible, but deeply unlikely. This is not the type of profile the Jays have targeted in recent seasons. Defense, versatility, and contact have been prioritized, sometimes to the frustration of fans craving home runs. Castellanos represents a philosophical pivot, and while desperate teams make desperate moves, Toronto does not appear desperate. Curious, perhaps. Exploring every avenue, certainly. But desperate? Not yet. If you're enjoying this breakdown and want to stay ahead of every rumor, report, and reaction as spring training unfolds, take a second to like the video, share it with fellow Jays fans, and subscribe to the Blue Jays Report. The next twist is always closer than it seems. While that debate raged online, another storyline quietly unfolded in Florida, one that carried far more emotional weight. Jose Berrios stepped in front of the media and did something rare in professional sport. He told the truth, plainly and without deflection. He admitted he mishandled his exit during the World Series run last season. He acknowledged frustration, confirmed he had apologized to his teammates, and revealed that, at times, he genuinely believed his future with the Blue Jays was over. The image of Berrios leaving the team during such a pivotal moment lingered like an unresolved chord. Fans were confused, some angry, others sympathetic. Injuries complicate narratives, and his was no exception. He wasn't healthy, and yet emotions don't always care about medical charts. In hindsight, Berrios sees that now. He spoke of regret, of reflection, and of a renewed commitment heading into this season, fully healthy and fully aware of the role he now plays. What makes this moment so compelling is how quickly circumstances change in baseball. Only months ago, Berrios' name surfaced in trade speculation. Today, he may be one of the most important arms on the staff. With injuries already thinning the rotation and uncertainty looming behind the top names, his presence is no longer optional. It's essential. There is a very real scenario where he slots in as a stabilizing force, the kind of pitcher who absorbs innings, keeps games close, and allows the offense to breathe. Behind the scenes, this is where leadership truly matters. Ross Atkins has built a roster that walks a tightrope between winning now and sustaining success. That means trusting veterans to grow, forgiving missteps when accountability is shown, and understanding that chemistry isn't built by pretending conflict doesn't exist, but by addressing it head-on. Berrios has done that, and now the onus shifts back to performance. As spring training progresses, the rhythm of the season begins to reveal itself. Bullpens warm, swings sharpen, and optimism creeps in through the cracks. The schedule ahead offers opportunity, and with it, pressure. Early games matter, momentum matters, and depth matters more than ever. That's why rumors like Castellanos spark such intense reactions. Fans aren't just debating a player. They're debating the philosophy of the team itself. And looming over everything is change at the league level. Major League Baseball is once again tinkering with its rulebook, proposing adjustments that, while seemingly minor, ripple outward in unexpected ways. A new vote is set to determine whether base coaches must remain in their designated boxes until the pitch is thrown, a move aimed at tightening the flow of the game and eliminating subtle advantages. It's a reminder that baseball, for all its tradition, never truly stands still. As we sit here, balanced between what is and what might be, one thing is certain. This season is already rich with storylines, and we haven't even reached opening day. A controversial rumor, a heartfelt confession, a looming rule change, all converging as spring training marches on. This is why we watch. This is why we argue. This is why baseball never lets us go. So now it's over to you. Would you entertain the idea of Nick Castellanos in a Blue Jays uniform, or does it feel fundamentally wrong? Can Jose Berrios fully rewrite his story this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and once again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Blue Jays Report. Because if today has proven anything, it's that the calm never lasts for long in Toronto baseball.